What's going on, guys, and welcome to episode 226 of Hashtag AskGSM here today for March 28th, 2018. I am Graham Jason Matthews. Hope you guys are doing well. And of course, we are now less than 2 weeks away from WrestleMania 34, which I'm super looking forward to, super pumped up for. You don't get ready, you stay ready, and I'm sure you guys feel the same. So we got today's show, we got next Wednesday's show, and that's it. The road to WrestleMania is nearly complete, so thus making today's show the penultimate episode of Hashtag AskGSM before WrestleMania 34. So let's make it a good one. If you guys want to tweet in questions or send in questions to the show, you can tweet me rather at WrestleRant on the Twitter machine with the hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook as well at facebook.com/gram.gsm.matthews. Leave a comment on the post I usually put up on Tuesday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last but certainly not least, be sure to drop your question on this very video in the comment section down below. I'll include it in next week's edition. So let's get started here without further ado with Joe M. from YouTube. Now, he sent in the following 4 questions for last week. It was past the deadline, and I had already recorded the show, but he did allow me to use them for today's episode, and they're all great, still relevant questions, so thank you, Joe, for allowing me to use them. But his first question was, if Hideo Itami heel turn is the endgame to his feud with the Lucha House Party, will Akira Tozawa follow suit in turn to join him, or will he and Hideo go their separate ways? I don't think Akira will go heel too. I mean, I guess he could. It's really more so been Hideo teasing the heel turn. They've only been tag team partners for about a month now. So it's not like they have this long-standing alliance and it's going to be an emotional breakup when they go their separate ways. Hideo has only been with Akira for like 3 weeks, so it's not going to be that big of a deal. But no, I think having Hideo just do his own thing as a heel is fine. The guy was a great heel in NXT. He's been more aggressive recently on 205 Live, which is what I think he needs in order to succeed on the brand. If he just kind of goes through the motions as it kind of felt like he was for the first few months of his 205 Live tenure, then it's not really going to work out. So here's hoping he goes heel. If Tozawa joins him, that's fine, but I would much rather prefer Tozawa to stay babyface. I think he's a great babyface. He's kind of sort of over to an extent. He's got potential to be even more than what he is currently, so I would keep Tozawa a babyface and have him feud of the day at some point down the road, and those two, I believe, could have some great matches together. Joe's second question, do you think the Cruiserweight Championship match should kick off the main show for WrestleMania, since Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali could contest an incredible match? I do. I absolutely do. I think it would send the wrong message by putting it on the kickoff show for the second straight year, and they did that with Neville and Aries, so I really don't have any faith, though, they won't do that with Alexander and Mustafa Ali, who are significantly 2 lesser stars than Neville and Aries, but I believe this match could be even better, and I love that original match, and I'll talk more about that soon enough. But no, I do agree that it should kick off the show. Having it on the kickoff show, in theory, wouldn't be bad, just because you got to get the crowd while they're hot. Doing this later on in the show in the fucking 4th hour, no one's going to give a shit, especially if you give them 5 minutes and they're not really allowed to go all out, as we know they can. It's got to kick off the show, send the right message, open the event on a high note, literally and figuratively. So yeah, I do think it should kick off the show, and not on the kickoff show, to be exact. His third question, have you heard what Jim Cornette said about the Sami Callihan incident, and if so, what did you make of his comments? So, needless to say, Jim Cornette was not happy about the Sami Callihan-Eddie Edwards incident from Impact a few weeks back. Very mad, he was super reckless. Cornette said about Callihan that he was super reckless and with the bat against Edwards and he should be banned and all this other stuff. I mean, it was typical Cornette commentary. Very entertaining to listen to. Not everything he says is 100%. I do agree the incident could have been avoided. I mean, the whole thing was stupid. The way that he whacked the bat against the chair and it whacked right into Eddie Edwards' eye. That could have been easily avoided, but shit happens. Mistakes happen. I'm sure, I know, Sami Callihan has gone on Twitter, I've seen that, and said, he has said that he's a bigger star, he shouldn't need to apologize, Eddie Edwards had it coming. The guy's a fucking heel. The guy knows what he's doing, he knows what he's saying. Obviously, he was sorry for what he did. They're turning it into a storyline, as they should. Impact needs the buzz right now. So running with this as an angle on TV, I'm completely fine with. I'm sure Jim Cornette sees that, and if not, there's something wrong there. The guy is one of the biggest workers in the history of wrestling, and Jim Cornette can't even see that. So that to me is a little shocking, slightly shocking. But that being said, I did see the comments. I have yet to listen to his comments. Jason has advised me to, because Cornette's commentary is always entertaining to listen to. I will at some point, but nonetheless, I was not too surprised at what Cornette had to say about the whole thing. And Joe's fourth question here: who is your prediction for the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal? It's tough. I know the two easy choices would be either Banks or Bayley. If I had to go between the two, I would say Sasha Banks. And I love Bayley, you guys know that, but Bayley got a WrestleMania moment last year. Banks lost last year and the year before that. She has yet to win at WrestleMania. So I would either give it to a heel Sasha Banks or Becky Lynch. I could see someone from NXT winning it. I don't know if they would give it to like the Iconic Duo. That'd be pretty awesome if they did, or one of them. I mean, maybe both, I guess. I don't know how that would work. They would find a way. If not one of them, or I don't know who else from NXT would be ready to be called up. Maybe Shayna Baszler, but I think she's winning the championship, as she probably should in NXT before getting called up. But I would go with Becky Lynch. I feel like she's been overlooked for far too long. Another one who's not won at WrestleMania yet. She's currently 0-2 after losing at WrestleMania's 32 and 33. I'd give it to Becky Lynch. I feel like she deserves it. She's one of the more underrated stars in the entire company right now. She's only won, no joke, maybe 5 pay-per-view matches in the 2 years, almost 3 years, she's been in the main roster. And only one of those was a singles match. Everything else was either a tag team match or a multi-woman match or whatever. My prediction is that it's going to be either Banks or Bayley. I'm going to go with Banks. But I want it to be Becky Lynch because I feel like she needs it more. She would deserve it more. And then be moved over to Raw where she can get a fresh batch of opponents to work with. Brandon A. from YouTube. Just to clarify something real quick, he did say that the lineup that he listed to me last week, just to clarify what he meant by that, he thought that'd be the lineup of matches that we would be getting, not in the order that he listed them. So I apologize to Brandon for misinterpreting his question, but I just want to throw that out there. Anyway, his first question was for this week, similar to last week's question, what are the most overrated, yet still good enough to be considered good though, matches from these good WrestleManias? So the WrestleManias he listed were WrestleManias 3, 10, 17, 19, 21, 24, 30, and 31. He also said, I believe 22 and 28 are really good too, but they're not universally considered great, so I didn't include them. On that real quick, I've seen 22. I honestly didn't really think it was that great of a show, like at all. There's a number of good matches. You know, Edge and Foley, Cena and Triple H, I thought was really, really good. The triple threat for the world title was also great, but it got fucking 8 minutes, which is kind of ridiculous. I don't really look at WrestleMania 22 as a overall very good or great WrestleMania. I thought it was all right. 28, I think, is a great show. I know the undercard isn't amazing, and people like to poop on Sheamus and Bryan, as they probably should, and rightfully so, for the horrible booking of that match and how it ran so short. But I thought the top 3 matches delivered. End of an era, Punk and Jericho, and especially Rock and Cena. Not as a 5-star instant mat classic, but for what it was as a spectacle, I thought it was awesome. I recently rewatched that on the network as I'm going through every WrestleManias that I've been a fan for, every WrestleMania I've been a fan for from 24, which I barely missed the cut for, but I watched it anyway because it's a great show. I watched 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, and 29, and 28 was a really good one. So anyway, from the WrestleManias that you mentioned, most overrated matches from each one. And this is tough. Really, a lot of the matches I'm about to list aren't overrated. I hate the word overrated. We've discussed this here on the show before because overrated is such a subjective thing. Like, according to who? The masses? Or are we talking about the Twitter community or how it was rated by Dave Meltzer? Like, what are we going by here? So this is all personal opinion. And again, a lot of these aren't even really overrated. So you might hear the word overrated, but I think what I mean by that for this question anyway, for the matches I included, people might think they're a little better than I think they actually are. So let's define overrated, right from the get-go. Anyway, from WrestleMania 3, Savage and Steamboat is every bit as good as it's remembered it being, so it can't include that. The rest of the card was never really remembered for being all that amazing anyway. I guess you could say Hogan and Andre, considering it's one of the biggest WrestleMania matches of all time. In the ring, it fucking sucks. The match really is not that good at all, but as a spectacle, it was great. So I guess you could say that one. I put down Piper and Adonis. Again, I've read reviews that said it was great. I didn't think it was that good. So I'll put down Piper and Adonis for WrestleMania 3, but you could also say Hogan and Andre too, just because in the ring it was nothing special. But then that being said, it definitely lived up to the hype in being one of the biggest WrestleMania matches of all time. Next question, Bret Hart and Yokozuna from WrestleMania. Our next answer, from WrestleMania 10. Again, a very good match, but not nearly as good as Bret Hart and Owen Hart in the opener on the undercard, and also Razor Ramon versus Shawn Michaels. I know Bret Hart winning the belt was a great moment, but the match itself, Yokozuna, even with Bret Hart as his opponent, was not that great of a wrestler, really, at all. That was not the most amazing WrestleMania main event I've ever seen, so maybe slightly overrated. WrestleMania 20 or WrestleMania 17, you're bound to piss someone off by answering a question about that show, because if you dare call any match overrated, you're going to make someone mad. And rightfully so. I mean, the whole show is really great. And the matches that aren't that great were never really, raved about anyway. So I will say Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit. That might piss some people off, but the match was very good. It wasn't nearly as good as it could have been, though. And had a weird finish as well. So I'll go with Kurt Angle and Benoit from WrestleMania 17 and being slightly overrated. From WrestleMania 19, again, it's hard to say this one because I thought it was really, really good. But Hulk Hogan versus Vince McMahon. Now, as a match, it's shit. As a spectacle, I thought it was great. Maybe not as amazing as some people remember it being, but it was a lot of fun for what it was. So, I mean, maybe slightly overrated. I guess you could say the main event with Lesnar and Angle. It was a really good wrestling match. I don't know if it was one of the top 10 WrestleMania main events of all time, but do people really call it that anyway? Is the issue that I've run in with these overrated questions. But anyway, I'll say Hogan and McMahon, and people never really remembered Booker versus Triple H being all that good. Regardless, that was kind of shit, and the finish sucked. So I'll say Hogan McMahon is the most quote-unquote underrated, or overrated rather, match in that WrestleMania. WrestleMania 21, it pains me to say this because I like the match a lot, but it really is not that good. Batista versus Triple H. John Cena and JBL is even worse as the top two main events for that show. It went like 10 minutes, wasn't really that good, but I don't really think people regard it as one of the best WrestleMania WWE Championship matches of all time. So I won't say that one. People do look fondly back at Batista and Triple H, if only for the story they told. And I agree, I thought the story they told was awesome, and it was really well done. The match was enjoyable. In the ring, it wasn't that great, so I'll say it's slightly overrated. WrestleMania 24, probably the three-way between Randy Orton, Triple H, and John Cena. It was a pretty standard triple threat. It was by no means great at all. It was a good match, not nearly as good as it could have been given the talent involved, but it was a very good match. From WrestleMania 30 and 31, for 30, again, these WrestleManias don't really have any overrated matches on them. But from 30, John Cena and Bray Wyatt. I remember people saying, oh, the finish sucked, but the match was good. The match, I thought, wasn't even that good. They told this whole story leading up to the show with Bray Wyatt trying to freak out John Cena. And then at the show, all of a sudden, he's like teasing going heel, like embracing the hate type of thing. It's like, where the fuck did that come from? It's completely random. So it was a match. I didn't like it. I thought it was shit. The finish sucked even more with Wyatt losing. But maybe a slightly overrated match in the ring. And then 31, Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. Again, not really overrated. I think the only reason why it's really remembered for being good at all is because it was a step above every other WrestleMania match that Taker has had since 30. It was better than him and Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, which was terrible. It was better than Taker versus Shane, which was beyond boring. And it was also way better than Taker and Roman Reigns from last year. So it's easily the best Taker match in at least 5 years since the Punk match of 29. But when you compare the Wyatt match to every other Taker match he's had at WrestleMania, from CM Punk to Triple H to Shawn Michaels, even Edge and Batista, it's not that good. Like, it's all right, it's average, it might be even pretty good, but it was by no means lighting the world on fire on the show. So I'll call it slightly overrated. Brandon's second question: I don't watch Ring of Honor, but I do want to watch the Supercard of Honor show this year. Can you explain to me how to even watch Ring of Honor? I don't know anything about their television, pay-per-view streaming, if they even have it, etc. Do they even have an equivalent to the WWE Network or New Japan World, or do I have to traditionally order a pay-per-view? Also, if you could give me a quick background on the storylines, that would be great. I looked up the card and it looks awesome, but I have no idea of what's going on outside of the Bullet Club Golden Lovers stuff. So the Ring of Honor, where can you watch the pay-per-views? Well, it's a relatively new thing. It's not great yet. It still has its issues with like streaming stuff, stuff like that. But anyway, they do have their Honor Club service. They just launched it about a month and a half ago. It's pretty good. It doesn't have every Ring of Honor pay-per-view ever, which is kind of bothersome because really the real money there with the Ring of Honor archives is those original pay-per-views. The stuff with Daniel Bryan on it, Samoa Joe, CM Punk, so on and so forth. And they have a lot of good pay-per-views dating back to 2011, 2012, but they should add those older pay-per-views at some point. When it comes to the live new pay-per-views, you can also watch those as well. I think if you pay a certain fee, unlike the WWE Network, they have like a tiered pricing here with Honor Club. So you can get I forgot how much it is, but you can pay once to just get all the archived footage and then get 50% off the pay-per-views if you want. Or you could pay your $120 all at once for the entire year and not be, charged monthly. Just pay the price up front. And in that case, you get all the live pay-per-views, and then you get all the pay-per-views after they air as well under like the Watch tab on the Ring of Honor website, rohwrestling.com. So that's what I've done. If you don't have $120 to drop just out of the blue, then I would go the other route and just ordering the standard price of $9.99 or whatever the hell it is, and just getting half off the pay-per-views. But I would do what I did, honestly, if you have $120 to spare, if you're willing to pay all that much at once. But if you're just getting into it, probably not, if you're not going to be around watching Ring of Honor for the long term. But bottom line, though, as you had said, the Supercard of Honor show looks great on paper. And they did that on purpose because they know it's going to have its work cut out for it, with TakeOver also happening that same night in the same area in New Orleans. They had that same issue last year. Supercard of Honor was a great show, but I went to TakeOver. TakeOver was also very good, but and honestly, Supercard of Honor might have been better. But this show, it's tough. TakeOver is going to be awesome, but Supercard of Honor, looking at this card, it could be a standout show. Really one of the more underrated gems of the weekend. Going down the card real quick in the storylines that you asked me for from each match. We have Adam Hangman Page versus Kota Ibushi. Honestly, I'm going to be just upfront with you, just going to be completely honest with you. A lot of these matches don't even have any build-up. Like Ring of Honor does this thing where they'll add matches to each card that have zero build-up, and maybe they were triggered over in Japan. I'm not exactly sure. I have no idea because I don't watch the New Japan product, so you might honestly know better than I do. But that being said, they'll do these things where they'll just add matches just for the sake of adding matches and getting star power on the card from New Japan and other stuff. And this is one of those matches, Adam Page versus Kota Ibushi. It has no real storyline significance at all, other than, Kota Ibushi being currently allies with, as you had said, Kenny Omega as part of the Golden Lovers against the Bullet Club. So there is that link there, and I'm sure the match is going to be awesome. Punishment Martinez versus Tomohiro Ishii should be a hard-hitting classic. Punishment is really, really good. I'm sure you know how good Ishii is as well. So that should be really good. Again, no storyline built in whatsoever, just a match, but it should be great. For the Ring of Honor World 6-Man Tag Team title, SoCal Uncensored versus the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon. Should be a lot of fun. So it was supposed to be SoCal Uncensored versus the Kingdom, but it was said on this week's edition of Ring of Honor TV that the Kingdom has been barred from the Supercard of Honor show after claiming that a conspiracy is against them in Ring of Honor. So they are kicked off the show, will not be appearing. Taking their place in the match are the Young Bucks and Flip Gordon. Now, I'm sure if you've been watching Being the Elite, you would know that Flip Gordon has been trying to get on All In for a while now, and finally, after beating Scorpio Sky in this week's show, he earned the respect of the Young Bucks, and they're getting their shot at the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team titles next Friday, or Saturday, rather. And it's also going to be a ladder match, so that should be a lot of fun. And SoCal Uncensored is great, so I'm sure this match will be just an absolute blast. And after that, for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, the Briscoes versus Jay Lethal and Hiroshi Tanahashi. A star-studded contest. Again, no real build-up other than Jay Lethal recently saying on Ring of Honor TV that he has yet to hold the Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles, and that's the only thing preventing him from winning the Ring of Honor Triple Crown. So teaming up with one of the greatest single stars of all time, and himself as well, should make a great tag team, and the Briscoes have been just killing it in Ring of Honor for a while now, ever since they went heel late last year in their feud with Bully Ray and then beating the Motor City Machine Guns for the World Tag Team titles. They have just been on an absolute roll, so that should be a lot of fun as well. For the Ring of Honor World Championship, Marty Scurll challenging Dalton Castle for the title. Marty Scurll previously beat Punishment Martinez in an unofficial number one contenders match at the recent 16th anniversary show, earning his title shot in the process. Dalton Castle has been at odds with the Bullet Club for a while now. He beat Cody for the Ring of Honor World title back in December at the Final Battle show that I was at. So Marty Scurll stepping into that spot and getting his championship shot that he has claimed he has deserved for a while now makes sense. The match should be great. I would love if Marty won. I love Dalton Castle. I really want Marty to win. I know he won't, though. And then the main event, I'm sure you know all about it, Cody versus Kenny Omega. It's been advertised for a while now. It's been built up for a while now. Watch the New Japan stuff. Watch Strong Style Evolved. Watch Being the Elite for further build up on this match. Watch Ring of Honor. Every company is on this thing, and as they should be, because this match is going to be great. I mean, Cody Rhodes in the ring is not nearly as good as Kenny Omega. I'll say that right off the bat. But the storyline has been so good with the Young Bucks and Team Cody, Team Kenny, the Bullet Club Civil War. It's been awesome. So I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, definitely check out Supercard of Honor. Needless to say, I'm probably not going to watch it live because I will be watching TakeOver. But I don't know if you sign up for the Ring of Honor Club service and you pay the $9.99 a month. I'm not sure if you get the archive shows, like after it goes up in the archives the next day. I'm not sure. I don't think you do, just to be clear. So don't sign up for the $9.99 deal a month and expect to see the pay-per-view on there the next day. I don't think it will be. But I have the deal where I get the pay-per-views as soon as they're over. So I'm looking forward to watching them, or watching the show as soon as it wraps up on Saturday night. Hopefully I can catch it on Sunday morning, or whenever I have the time over WrestleMania weekend. Captain Sunshine from YouTube. Sometimes I wonder why WWE goes through the trouble of booking and televising matches they obviously don't care about. Both the Cruiserweight Tag and the Nevitt Club Miztourage match on Raw were joined in progress, and they were paint-by-number bouts anyway. So what special reason do they have to be booked? None. Absolutely none. Really, they are a waste of time. They are meant to be time killers, just to fill time on the show. That's really all it is. I mean, you should probably expect that and already assume that. On a 3-hour show, you're bound to have filler. SmackDown had filler last night with Dolph Ziggler versus fucking Tyler Breeze. And they all serve a purpose. I mean, the Cruiserweight Tag Team match was good. The Nevitt Club, as you call them, the Miztourage match was fine. I mean, actually, no, that was a waste of time. I'm thinking of the Miztourage thing, which I thought was great. The Anderson and Gallows versus Miztourage match, well, yeah, that was pretty much a waste of time, other than building towards the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but who the fuck cares? That being said, yeah, I don't know, they just do it to kill time. That's really all that I can tell you. Your second question, though, was, Miz has gotten his ass kicked so regularly in the Seth Finn three-way feud that he has to retain the title at WrestleMania, right? Daniel Bryan is back and still needs to resolve his thing with The Miz, which needs the IC title to fully pop. So Miz has to be bringing it to SmackDown after Mania is done. Holding a replica belt is more prestigious than being United States champion right now anyway. That was funny. But I don't think the feud needs the Intercontinental Championship. I'm going to disagree with you there. I think it would be cool if they went back to that Talking Smack promo about a year and a half ago when Miz said you had to retire because you're a coward and I made this championship prestigious when you fucking vacated it. He didn't say fucking, but you know what I mean. In so many words, that's what he said on that promo. So it would be cool in that respect. I do think that the feud is even bigger than the IC title. It's honestly world championship material right there. I think if you had, as many other people have pitched, if you have Miz win Money in the Bank, cash in, move over to SmackDown, obviously, but win Money in the Bank, go over to SmackDown, and win the WWE Championship, and then hold it until WrestleMania where Daniel Bryan beats him for it after winning the Rumble, that would be fucking magical. So that's what I would do. But you can't go wrong with the IC title feud as well, coming right after his move to SmackDown. So I would wait on that. I think that's a match you can build to and not just do it right off the bat when Miz returns to SmackDown. But regardless of what happens post WrestleMania, I've said this for a while now, where I do feel like Miz will win at WrestleMania. I just get the feeling that after, like you had said, he's getting his ass kicked so much, and the odds are stacked against him, that I just honestly think he'll be winning at WrestleMania. And Balor and Rollins could both use the IC title. They could do a lot of good with that championship, and that would allow Miz to go back over to SmackDown. But I don't know. I'm just feeling a successful title defense here from the Miz, and a la Randy Orton WrestleMania 24 or Charlotte WrestleMania 32, where people don't really expect them to win, but they do anyway, beating two other baby faces, and it's kind of like a shock winner or whatever. So I'm figuring that's what's going to happen. My money is on Miz to retain the title. And hell, just if he holds on to the championship coming out of WrestleMania, who's to say that he can't drop it the next night or at the next pay-per-view, or even drop it at some point between now and Money in the Bank, and then win Money in the Bank, and then go over to SmackDown and cash it in over there. So he doesn't have to be drafted back to SmackDown. So I wouldn't get too discouraged if we have our next superstar shakeup and Miz is not on SmackDown. I would not be too discouraged by that, because I think there's a chance if he wins Money in the Bank, he can still move over to the other brand anyway. Mark S. from Facebook, what 3 matches are you most interested in seeing at WrestleMania, and which match at NXT TakeOver? So for WrestleMania, obviously Styles Nakamura has got to be my number 1. And this is really in no real order, I'm just kind of spewing out matches here. Also, Miz, Balor, and Rollins, the 3-way for the IC Championship. The third match is tough, because I'm looking forward to a few different matches, whether it be the 3-way tag team title match with the Usos, Bludgeon Brothers, and the New Day, which was announced last night on SmackDown. I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to, what was the other match that I had pegged here? It wasn't the US title match. It wasn't like the Battle Royals. The card is so huge that you forget matches are even happening. It's not Cena Taker. I don't know how much. Oh, Ali and Alexander. I was going to look up the card, but I don't have to. That was the other match I'm also looking forward to. But I'm going to put over that match in the top 3 here with Styles, Nakamura, Miz, Balor, Rollins. I'm going to put Charlotte, Asuka. I'm really looking forward to it. I was pretty discouraged last night when I read that Charlotte got hurt and that she might not be, she won't be wrestling on SmackDown in the Mixed Match Challenge last night. But apparently she will be back next week. So she should be good to go. It was only a minor dental injury, so it wasn't like she broke her arm or something. She has, she tore her ACL. She should be fine for WrestleMania. And Charlotte and Asuka will go on as planned. So I'm looking forward to that, along with Miz, Balor, Rollins, and Styles and Nakamura. The whole show is going to be great. I'm looking forward to the entire event, but those are the top 3 most anticipated matches for me as of right now. And for TakeOver, again, the whole card looks great. I put down the ladder match here, but I kind of want to go with Gargano and Ciampa, because I feel like they're really going to go out of their way to fucking steal the show and steal the weekend from any other company. So I'm going to go with the Gargano-Ciampa no-holds-barred match. I know it is yet to be officially announced as of right now, but we all know that it will be. So I'm looking forward to the entire show, as well as the ladder match and the main event too. Mark's second question, who do you think will win the WrestleMania Battle Royals, and should the winner of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal get an Intercontinental title shot the next night on Raw? So I already said from earlier that I think Becky will win, or Sasha Banks will win the Women's Battle Royal. Either one of the two. Bayley I'm fine with too, but I think any one of those 3, can't go wrong there. So I'll say either Becky or Banks for the winner of the women's one. For the men's, no one jumps out as an obvious candidate right now. I said for a while that it would probably be Rusev, but now we know he'll be in the U.S. Championship match at WrestleMania, which is a better fit for him anyway, so he won't be overshadowed in the Battle Royal. And winning that thing, no one gives a shit about anyway. But so Rusev's out of the picture. Looking at the current crop of talent in the match, I can't see Baron Corbin winning it again, or Mojo Rawley, or fucking Ty Dillinger. Who cares? The Revival, they're not going to win. Honestly, if I had to pick a name off the top of my head, probably Big Cass. Honestly, I think he's clear to compete. I would give the win with the Woken Matt Hardy. Out of everyone in the match currently announced, I would give it to Woken Matt. I don't see that happening. But I could probably see Big Cass winning it, returning in the match and winning it. But no one's going to give a shit. This guy was never good to begin with, so who cares? So I could see Big Cass coming back and winning the whole thing because he's a giant anyway. Getting an IC title match the next night on Raw. I mean, regardless of when it happens, the winner should get something, not a fucking trophy that basically says, hey, you won the Losers Battle Royal at WrestleMania, whoop-de-doo. They should get a title shot of some kind, whether it be on the next night's Raw or SmackDown, or at the next pay-per-view, or at SummerSlam, I don't know. Just, they gotta figure out something, because these Battle Royals as they are just completely meaningless. But yeah, I mean, if it's a Raw guy, then they get a title shot on Raw the next night, or if it's a SmackDown guy, they get a U.S. title match on Tuesday. Either one, as long as it doesn't... I mean, I could see them winning the Battle Royal and then losing the title shot, and it's like nothing ever really changed. So maybe not. Maybe I would build to it for the next pay-per-view. But we'll see. We'll see. Just giving them an incentive at all to win the thing is good. Because as it currently stands, having them win a Battle Royal for pride, for the honor of Andre, no one gives a shit. Mark's next question here. How high would you place the Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan match on the WrestleMania card? And could it main event the show considering how long the feud has been going for? I've seen some people say that. I'm going to say no. I would hope not anyway. I love Daniel Bryan, and they could do a swerve where, well, first of all, we know Owens and Zayn are winning. I guess they could lose and go to Raw, but even if they go to Raw, I feel like, first of all, they were on Raw last year, and they should be separated. I like Owens and Zayn, but they've already been teasing tension. They got to be separated. So I would leave Owens on, I would put maybe Owens back on Raw, and then put Sami Zayn back on SmackDown. So just to separate the two for a little while, just a bit of a break. And then with Daniel Bryan and Shane, either way, I just think the heels are going to win. And I love Daniel Bryan, but maybe they do a swerve to protect him with like Bryan going heel or whoever Daniel Bryan's partner is turning on him, which would be fine if Shane can't compete. And I don't think he will. I know they said that they're going to wait and see, but the guy's got fucking diverticulitis or whatever the fuck it is, along with a ruptured hernia. It's like, Jesus Christ, why would you still let him wrestle? It's not that big of a deal to not let him, to let him sit this one out. I don't think people are clamoring for Shane McMahon to wrestle at WrestleMania this year. So, I mean, again, it's made sense with the context of the story they've been telling with Shane and Owens and Sammy. I know he should be in the match, but the health issues are health issues. You got to take him out and put someone else in his place. I would not put it as the main event, but I would put it towards the top of the card. Daniel Bryan coming back and wrestling again is a pretty big fucking deal. Having it kick off the show wouldn't be the worst thing, but I feel like it's a bigger deal than third match on the card. I know there's a lot of big marquee matches on this show, but I do think it deserves to be on the the latter half of the show where Daniel Bryan is sure to get people excited and fire them up and whatnot. So I would put it towards the second half of the event, but not the main event. I don't think a tag team match with no titles on the line. What is this, WrestleMania 1? I don't think that's WrestleMania main event worthy. His next question here. What is your favorite WrestleMania of all time and why? As I've said before, I mean, there's a few different ones. If I had to pick, it's always a tie between 28 and 31. I really enjoyed both shows a lot. I mean, you could say, WrestleMania 17 or WrestleMania 21. I don't know. I mean, those WrestleManias are great. Don't get me wrong, but they're not my favorite because I wasn't around when they happened. So 28 and 31 I was a fan for. If I had to choose, probably 31. As I've said before, I really, truly do think 31 overall is one of the best WrestleManias of the last 10 years. But if I had to go favorite WrestleMania, the one that hasn't beat is WrestleMania 33. Not to say that 33 was as good of a show as 28 or 31. It might be, but I don't know if it is. It's simply my favorite WrestleMania because I was there. My first ever WrestleMania, and it was a great show too, I thought. With the Hardy Boys coming back, and Owens and Jericho, and Styles and Shane, Brock and Goldberg, Taker's final match for then anyway, before he came back this year, before he comes back in 2018. But no, that's got to be my favorite WrestleMania of all time because I was there. That's as simple as that. I was there, and it was a lot of fun. I created a lot of memories, and it was the best wrestling show I've ever been in attendance for. So it's got to be my favorite WrestleMania, said by default. And his next question here, seeing that WWE is doing a 50-man Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia, do you think they will have local talent from the country in it? And is there any wrestler currently in WWE from that country that should be in it? I'm sure there is talent from Saudi Arabia in the company right now, whether it be in NXT or even in developmental, whatever. or even on the main roster. I don't think so anyway. Nothing comes to mind. No one comes to mind off the top of my head. But yeah, absolutely they should. They've done that before, where they've done like tours of China, and they'll bring in like the Chinese recruits they just signed. They'll put them on the show, give them a win, just to pop people, just to bring people into the building and show, hey, we have one of your people on our show, that type of thing. So I could see them doing that. No one name comes to mind, but I'm sure they'll do it. Could they use local talent from the country? Yeah, I mean, I guess they could, like indie talent or something. 50 men is a lot. And they already have a full card. I don't know if people will be wrestling twice. Like, I'm not sure if John Cena, despite facing Triple H that night, will also be in the battle. Will be in the Royal Rumble. I have no idea. But still, it should be a fun little thing. I think it is airing on the network, which is cool. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I think they could use local talent just to pop the crowd and show, hey, again, like I said earlier, like, hey, we're using some of your talent because we're cultural like that and all that other shit. So, yeah, no, I could totally see that happening, and I expect it to happen as well. From Facebook, we had a gentleman leave a question. I cannot pronounce your name, sir. It's not even that I can't even pronounce it. I don't know what it is, and it's a different language. And we've never had that happen before here on the show, but I apologize. But to the gentleman who asked the following question, thank you for sending in. But your question was, is it true that Sasha Banks is headed to SmackDown Live? I haven't heard that rumor. I could see it coming true. I would put Bayley on SmackDown before Sasha. I'd keep Sasha on Raw. As a heel, I think she's got a lot of new life in her if she was to go heel, and it looks like she is. And I would put Bayley on SmackDown just to separate them. But then again, I might keep Bayley on Raw and Sasha on SmackDown just to do the feud between them for now, because they're not having their one-on-one match at WrestleMania. I would save it for the next pay-per-view or for SummerSlam. So keep them both on Raw for now. But bottom line, I do not think Sasha is going to SmackDown. I still need a bit of a break from these Sasha-Charlotte matches we got constantly in late 2016, early 2017. At Brad Berdar from Twitter, our final question of the day. Do you think this year's Cruiserweight Championship match between Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander will top last year's one between Austin Aries and Neville? So going back to what I was saying before, I think it could. I think it really, truly could. I love the Aries and Neville a lot, to be honest with you. I know it was on the kickoff and whatever, but it was a real well-wrestled match. People were into it. I thought it was the best match they had of that series. The Payback match was good. The Extreme Rules match, the I Quit match they had in that pay-per-view, was also really, really good. But I thought this was the best of the bunch. I thought Aries looked great here. Neville looked great here. It was a really, really fun match. They got great time, almost 15 minutes, which is like unheard of on a pay-per-view for a Cruiserweight match. But no, I thought it was really, really good. But could Ali and Alexander top it? I think they can. If you go back and watch their match from 205 Live right before the Cruiserweight title tourney started, I think there's a good chance that we could see Ali and Alexander raise the bar and set the tone for the rest of the show and kick off the night on a high note. Again, like I said earlier, figuratively and or literally. But I think Ali and Alexander are capable of contesting an absolutely incredible match, as Joe said earlier. So I'm going to say, yeah, I do think that this year's will top. I do think this year's Cruiserweight Championship match will top last year's. And Neville and Aries had a great feud. Ali and Alexander, they don't really have a feud going, but the build-up has been really well done on 205 Live. It's more than just fucking tag team matches like we saw on Raw this week. They're actually giving us a reason to care about both guys. No, but I do think in the ring, it could be, and it will be better than Aries and Neville, but only time will tell. And like I said earlier, here's hoping it kicks off the actual show and not the kickoff show. I know it will end up on the kickoff show because they already have so many matches, but these guys deserve better. Anyway, guys, that is episode 226 of Hashtag Ask You Some here today. Thank you, as always, for sending in your questions. I appreciate it. If you want to tweet me on the Twitter machine with your next question, be sure to do so at WrestleRant with the hashtag AskGSM. Find me on Facebook as well at facebook.com/graham.gsm.matthews. Leave a comment on the post that I usually put up on Tuesday nights, if not on the wall itself. And last but certainly not least, I'm all over the place today. Got a lot of tongue twisters, but last but certainly not least, be sure to drop your question in the comment section down below on this very video. I'll include it in next week's edition. So with all that being said, guys, next week is the week. It's the final episode of Hashtag AskGSM before WrestleMania 34. It's going to be a grand old episode previewing, predicting, and doing all this other stuff for TakeOver and WrestleMania 34 that weekend. I mean, WrestleRant Radio the following Thursday will have more, insight and more previews and predictions for WrestleMania. But next week will be the final episode of Hashtag On the Road to WrestleMania with all your thoughts on Mania and much, much more. So anyway, guys, stay tuned for that. Have an awesome rest of your week. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road to WrestleMania.